You control the payout of the machines?
No, we cannot control the slot payouts. Everything is regulated by the Gaming Commission. The machines are programmed by the manufacturers, and we have strict oversight.
Millions flow through Vegas slot machines daily. Players use strategies they think work. But those strategies? Worthless. The patterns they see? Fiction. Casinos have spread 9 dangerous myths for decades. Why? Because believers stay longer and lose faster. Today, a former casino insider exposes all 9. This will change everything you know about slots. Before we start, let me know how much your biggest slot machine win is and what slot you won it on. I am always eager to hear your wins. Let's start with the most common and most expensive myth in all of slot machine gambling. Myth number 1. Hot and cold machines exist. Walk into any casino and you'll hear players talking about hot and cold machines. This machine is ice cold. It hasn't paid out in hours. I'm switching. Or, this machine just hit a jackpot. It's running hot. I'm staying right here. Players genuinely believe that slot machines go through streaks. That past performance indicates future results. That a machine that just paid out is more likely to pay out again. Or that a machine that hasn't paid in a while is due to hit. This is completely false, and it's costing you a fortune. Here's the truth. Every single spin on a modern slot machine is completely independent and random. The outcome is determined by a random number generator, or RNG, that cycles through billions of possible combinations every single second. When you press the spin button, the RNG captures whatever number it's on at that exact millisecond. That number corresponds to a specific symbol combination. The reels spin to display that predetermined result. But the outcome was already decided the instant you pressed the button. The machine has no memory. It doesn't know it just paid out a jackpot 5 spins ago. It doesn't know it hasn't paid anything significant in 3 hours. Every spin has the exact same probability as every other spin. If a machine has a 1 in 10,000 chance of hitting the top jackpot, that probability is identical on every single spin. It doesn't matter if the jackpot hit yesterday or hasn't hit in 6 months. 1 in 10,000. Every time. A machine that just paid out $5,000 has the exact same odds on the very next spin as it did on the spin before. The RNG doesn't care about recent history. It's generating random numbers continuously, whether anyone is playing or not. So why do players believe in hot and cold machines? Because humans are pattern-seeking creatures. We see patterns even when they don't exist. You play a machine for 20 minutes and lose every spin. Your brain says, this machine is cold. You switch machines, hit a bonus round, and your brain says, see, I found a hot machine. But what really happened is random variance. The first machine could have hit on your very next spin if you'd stayed. The second machine could have given you 20 more losing spins. You have no way to know. You're seeing patterns in randomness. Casinos love this myth because it keeps players on the floor longer. Instead of playing one machine and leaving when you lose, you hop from machine to machine, searching for a hot one. More time in the casino means more money lost. Here's what this myth costs you. First, you waste time searching for machines instead of playing or leaving. Second, you abandon machines that have perfectly fine odds because you think they're cold. Third, you stay at machines longer than you should because you think they're hot. And fourth, you make emotional decisions based on false information instead of logical decisions based on mathematics. The truth is simple. Hot and cold machines don't exist. Every spin is random. Past results have zero effect on future outcomes. Choose a machine based on denomination and payback percentage. Set your limits and stop worrying about temperature. Myth number 2. Casinos tighten slots during busy hours. This myth is everywhere. Players are convinced that casinos change slot machine settings based on how crowded the floor is. Weekend nights when the casino is packed, they tighten the machines. Tuesday morning when it's empty, they loosen them up to encourage play. It makes sense logically. Why would a casino offer good odds when they're already packed with players? They've got you there. They can afford to be greedy. Except it's completely false, and it's based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how slot machines work. Slot machine payback percentages are programmed into the machine. They're set by the casino in coordination with the manufacturer and the gaming commission. And in most jurisdictions, they cannot be changed remotely or on the fly. To change a slot machine's payback percentage requires physical access to the machine. A technician has to open the machine, access the logic board, and either change physical chips or reprogram the software. This process takes anywhere from 30 minutes to several hours depending on the machine, and it requires documentation. Casinos must report any changes in slot settings to the Gaming Commission. There's a paper trail. It's heavily regulated. The idea that a casino could tighten hundreds of machines for Friday night and then loosen them back up for Saturday morning is logistically impossible and legally prohibited. So why do players believe this myth? Because they lose more during busy times and their brain seeks an explanation. But the real reason you lose more during busy times has nothing to do with machine settings. It has to do with you. When the casino is crowded, you're distracted. There's noise, people, energy, excitement. You play faster because you're caught up in the atmosphere. You make more spins per hour. You pay less attention to your bankroll. You stay longer because it's fun and social. More spins with the same house edge means more losses. It's that simple. The payback percentage didn't change. Your behavior changed. Also, you're more likely to remember losses during peak times because those sessions stand out in your memory. Your Tuesday morning win at a quiet casino doesn't create a strong memory, but your Friday night loss in a packed, exciting environment, that sticks with you. So you falsely attribute the loss to tighter machines instead of to variance and your own playing speed. This myth costs you in a different way than the others. It doesn't cost you money directly, but it costs you opportunity. You avoid the casino during your preferred times because you think the odds are worse. You miss out on entertainment and fun during prime hours. You make your gambling decisions based on false information. The truth is simple. Slot machines have the same payback percentage 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Busy times, slow times, holidays, weekdays, doesn't matter. The odds don't change. Play whenever you want. Just be aware that excitement and distraction will make you play faster and potentially lose more. But that's on you, not on the casino changing settings. Myth number 3. Players' club cards make machines tighter. This is one of the most persistent and most damaging myths in slot gambling. Players are convinced that using a player's club card causes the slot machine to pay out less. They think the casino tracks their play and adjusts the odds against them. They believe playing anonymously without a card gives them better results. I've heard players say things like, "I always win more when I don't use my card." Or, "The casino knows I'm a regular, so they make my machines tighter." Or, "I only use my card when I'm already winning." This is paranoid nonsense, and it's costing you hundreds or thousands of dollars in lost comps and benefits. Here's the truth. Your player's club card does absolutely nothing to the random number generator. Nothing. Zero. The card is connected to a player tracking system that records your play for marketing and comp calculations. That system is completely separate from the RNG that determines wins and losses. The card tracks how much you bet, how long you play, what machines you play, and your win-loss ratio. The casino uses this data to calculate comps, send you promotional offers, and understand player behavior. But it does not, cannot, and will never affect the outcome of individual spins. This would be massively illegal. Gaming regulations strictly prohibit any connection between player tracking systems and random number generators. Casinos are audited regularly. Any evidence of this kind of manipulation would result in massive fines, license revocation, and criminal charges. The RNG is isolated. It's a sealed system. It generates random outcomes regardless of whether you have a card inserted, who you are, what your play history looks like, or anything else. So why do players think their card affects their odds? Confirmation bias and selective memory. You play with your card, you lose, and you remember it. You play without your card, you win, and you attribute the win to not using the card. You forget the hundreds of times you played without a card and lost, or played with a card and won. Casinos want you to use your player's card, but not because they're going to cheat you, They want to track your play for marketing purposes. They want to send you offers. They want to calculate appropriate comps. They want to understand player behavior so they can design better promotions. Here's what not using your card costs you. Most casinos offer point systems that convert to free play or cash. Depending on the casino, you might earn 0.1 to 0.3% back on your total wagers. If you're wagering $10,000 during a casino visit, that's $10 to $30 in free money you're giving up. You also miss out on comp offers, free rooms, free buffets, free show tickets. These offers are based on your tracked play. No card means no tracking means no offers. You miss out on promotional drawings and tournaments. Many require card usage to qualify. You miss out on birthday bonuses, anniversary bonuses, and tier status benefits. Over a year of regular play, not using your player's club card could cost you $500 to $2,000 in lost value. And you're getting nothing in return except peace of mind based on a false belief. The truth is simple. Always use your player's club card. Always. It doesn't affect your odds. It gives you free money and benefits. There is no logical reason not to use it. 0. Myth number 4. Slots near entrances and aisles pay better. This myth comes from old-school gambling wisdom from the 1980s and 90s. The story goes that casinos placed their loosest slots, the machines with the best payback percentages, near entrances and high-traffic aisles. The idea was that visible winners would attract more players. People walking by would see and hear jackpots and be drawn in to play. And you know what? This used to be true. 30 years ago, this was legitimate casino strategy. But modern casinos have completely reversed this approach. Today, slots near entrances, exits, and main aisles have some of the worst payback percentages on the entire floor. Why? Because casinos realized that convenience locations don't need good odds to attract play. People will play those machines regardless. You're waiting for a friend. You're killing time before dinner. You're walking to the bathroom and you pass a machine. You sit down impulsively. You're not carefully evaluating which machine to play. You're not comparison shopping. You're playing out of convenience. So the casino can set those machines tighter and you'll still play them. Meanwhile, the loosest machines have been moved to the center of the main slot floor, specifically to major intersections where foot traffic is highest. These are crossroads where people pass by constantly. The casino wants wins at these locations to be seen and heard by maximum people. I've seen the internal data. Machines within 20 feet of main entrances average 86 to 88% payback. Machines in the center of the main floor at high-traffic intersections average 91 to 93% payback. That's a 5 to 7% difference. Massive. Over a few hours of play, that difference could be $100 or more in additional losses. Players who follow the old wisdom about entrance and aisle machines are literally playing the worst odds on the floor while thinking they're playing the best. This myth costs you money every single session if you play these machines. You're giving the casino an extra 5% edge. Your bankroll drains faster. You lose more per hour. And you're doing it voluntarily because you believe outdated information. The truth is simple. Avoid machines near entrances, exits, bathrooms, cashier cages, and main aisles. Walk to the center of the main slot floor. Look for areas with high foot traffic and intersections. Those locations have better payback percentages. It takes an extra 2 minutes to walk there. Those 2 minutes can save you significant money. Myth number 5. Casinos pump oxygen to keep you awake. This is probably the most famous casino myth of all time. Players are convinced that casinos pump extra oxygen into the air to keep players alert, awake, and gambling longer. Some versions of the myth say they pump pure oxygen. Others say they add stimulants to the air. Some even claim they use pheromones or other chemicals. It's a great story. It fits the narrative of casinos as evil manipulators using secret technology to control players. It's been repeated in movies, books, and countless online articles. It's also completely false. Total urban legend. Zero evidence has ever been found at any casino anywhere in the world. Think about it logically. Oxygen is highly flammable. pumping extra oxygen into an enclosed space with thousands of people. Electronic machines and potential ignition sources would be an enormous fire hazard. It would violate building codes and safety regulations in every jurisdiction. One spark, one cigarette in casinos that still allow smoking, one electrical short, and the entire building would be an inferno. No insurance company would allow it. No fire marshal would approve it. No gaming commission would license a casino doing this. Beyond the safety issues, it would be completely impractical. The ventilation systems required would be massive and impossible to hide. Employees would notice. Regulators would notice. It would be exposed immediately, and it's unnecessary. Casinos have plenty of legal, proven methods to keep you alert and gambling longer. They don't need to resort to dangerous, illegal oxygen manipulation. What casinos actually do is much simpler. They use heavy air conditioning to keep the temperature cool and comfortable. Cool air keeps people alert. They use bright lighting throughout the gaming floor. They use stimulating sounds, music, and machine noises. They design the space with no windows and no clocks, so you lose track of time. They offer free drinks with caffeine and alcohol. These methods are effective, legal, and proven. They don't need oxygen. So why do players believe this myth? Because they need an explanation for why they stay in casinos longer than they planned. I wasn't going to play for 6 hours. They must have pumped oxygen to keep me there. It's easier to blame the casino than to accept personal responsibility. This myth doesn't cost you money directly, but it costs you perspective. By focusing on a fake conspiracy theory, you ignore the real psychological tactics casinos use. You think you're wise to their tricks because you know about the oxygen, but you're blind to the actual manipulation happening through lights, sounds, layout, and free drinks. The truth is simple. Casinos don't pump oxygen. They don't need to. Their legal tactics work just fine. Focus on those if you want to protect yourself. Myth number 6. Pulling the handle versus pressing the button changes your odds. Some slot machines still have old-fashioned pull handles even though they're digital inside. And some players are convinced that pulling the handle gives different odds than pressing the button. Some think the handle is more random. Others think pressing the button too quickly doesn't give the RNG enough time to cycle properly. This is pure superstition, and it's based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how random number generators work. The handle and the button do the exact same thing. They send a signal to the machine's computer to capture the current RNG state and display the corresponding outcome. The method you use to trigger that signal is completely irrelevant. The RNG is constantly cycling through billions of possible number combinations every single second. It never stops. Whether you're standing at the machine or not, whether anyone is playing or not, the RNG is always running. When you pull the handle or press the button, you're simply telling the machine to capture whatever number the RNG happens to be on at that precise millisecond. That number maps to specific symbols on the reels. The reels spin to display those symbols, but the outcome was determined the instant you initiated the spin. The speed at which you play has zero effect on randomness. The RNG doesn't need time to warm up or cycle properly. It's already cycling billions of times per second. Your human reaction time is so slow compared to the RNG that whether you press the button quickly or slowly makes no difference whatsoever. Whether you pull the handle dramatically or tap the button impatiently, the result is identical. Same RNG, same odds, same randomness. So why do players believe this myth? Superstition and false pattern recognition. You pull the handle and win. Your brain creates a connection. You press the button and lose. Your brain reinforces the connection. You forget the hundreds of times you pulled the handle and lost or pressed the button and won. The physical act of pulling a handle feels more engaging, more real, more connected to the game. So players convince themselves it matters. But it doesn't. This myth costs you in an indirect way. It causes you to play slower because pulling a handle takes more time than pressing a button. Ironically, playing slower is actually better for your bankroll because you make fewer bets per hour. But you're doing it for the wrong reason. based on false beliefs, and it keeps your focus on irrelevant, superstitious behaviors instead of real strategy like choosing good machines, setting limits, and knowing when to quit. The truth is simple. Handle and button are identical. Use whichever you prefer. The outcome is the same. Stop wasting mental energy on superstitions and focus on things that actually matter. Myth number 7. Slot tournaments are a good deal. Casinos heavily promote slot tournaments. You pay an entry fee, usually $50 to $200, and you compete against other players for prize money. The casino provides tournament credits. You play for a set time period, and whoever accumulates the most credits wins. Players think tournaments are a great deal. You're playing with the casino's money. You have a chance to win thousands. What's not to love? Here's what's not to love. The math. Let's say a tournament has 200 entries at $50 each. That's $10,000 in total entry fees. The prize pool might be $6,000. First place gets $3,000. Second gets $2,000. Third gets $1,000. Where did the other $4,000 go? The casino kept it. They're taking 30 to 40% of all entry fees as profit before paying out any prizes. You're playing a game with a massive rake, where the house takes a huge cut before anyone wins anything. But it gets worse. Tournament machines are programmed differently than floor machines. They're set to extremely high volatility with massive variance. This creates exciting leaderboard drama where fortunes can change on a single spin. Someone in last place can jump to first on one big hit. But this extreme volatility means skill and strategy matter even less than usual. Tournament results are almost entirely luck. You're not being rewarded for smart play. You're participating in a lottery. And here's the real kicker. The casino isn't making their money from tournament entry fees. They're making it from everything else. Studies show that the average tournament participant loses $300 to $500 on regular slot machines during their tournament visit. You arrive early and play regular slots while waiting for your session. You play after your tournament while waiting for results. You stay overnight and play the next morning. The casino knows this. Tournaments are loss leaders designed to get you on the property. The entry fees barely matter. The real profit comes from your incidental play on regular machines. Even free tournaments, where entry costs nothing, are marketing tools. The casino knows anyone who shows up for a free tournament will play paid machines before or after. The tournament is bait. Now, there are exceptions. High-stakes invite-only tournaments where the casino is comping your entry based on past play can have positive value. But for the average player paying an entry fee, tournaments are a bad bet. This myth costs you in two ways. First, you're paying entry fees with negative expected value. The house is taking a huge rake. Second, you're spending more on regular slots during your tournament visit than you would during a normal casino trip. The truth is simple. Slot tournaments are profitable for casinos and slightly unprofitable for players. If you enjoy the social and competitive aspects, go ahead and play. But don't fool yourself into thinking you're getting a good deal. You're paying for entertainment, not for an advantage. Myth number 8. Certain betting patterns increase your odds. Some players are convinced that they can beat slot machines by varying their bet amounts in specific patterns. They'll bet minimum after a win and maximum after a loss. Or they'll alternate between minimum and maximum bets in a zigzag pattern. Or they'll follow some progressive betting system they bought online. The idea is that these betting patterns will somehow confuse the machine or exploit its programming or trigger bonus features more often. This is the gambler's fallacy applied to slot machines. And it's completely false. Every spin on a slot machine is independent with identical odds. The size of your bet affects how much you can win if you hit something. But it does not affect the probability of hitting anything. If a bonus feature triggers on average once every 200 spins, that probability is the same, whether you're betting minimum or maximum. Whether you're varying your bets or flat betting, the machine doesn't care. The RNG doesn't track your betting patterns. It's just generating random outcomes. Betting systems cannot overcome the house edge. The house edge applies equally to every single spin, regardless of how much you're betting. Over time, over thousands of spins, the house edge will grind down any betting system you try to use. These systems occasionally work in the player's favor due to random variance. You might follow a betting pattern and hit a big win. Your brain creates a connection. But if you track your results over hundreds of sessions, you'll find that betting patterns have zero effect on your overall win rate. Why do players believe this myth? Because betting systems are sold online by scammers who prey on people desperate to beat the casino. These systems come with impressive-sounding names, testimonials, and pseudo-mathematical explanations. They cost money, and they don't work. Players also want to feel like they have control and strategy. Slot machines are pure chance. That's uncomfortable. So players create false patterns and strategies to give themselves the illusion of control. This myth costs you money in specific ways. First, if your betting pattern involves making maximum bets after losses, you're losing your bankroll faster during the worst possible time. You're compounding losses by betting big when you're down. Second, varying your bets usually means betting more than you would with flat betting. More money wagered means more money lost to the house edge. Third, you might buy these systems online for $50 to $200. That money is wasted on information that doesn't work. The truth is simple. Flat betting within your budget is the smartest approach. Bet an amount you're comfortable with and keep it consistent. Don't increase bets after losses hoping to recover. Don't decrease bets after wins. Just play steady, set your limits, and stop when you hit them. Betting patterns, systems, and strategies do not work on slot machines. The RNG doesn't care. Every spin is independent. Save your money and your mental energy. Myth number 9. You're due for a win after a losing streak. This is the most dangerous myth on this entire list, and it's the one that causes the most financial damage to players. The myth goes like this. You've been playing a slot machine for an hour, and you've lost almost every spin. You've gone through $200 and you've barely won anything back. At this point, players think, I'm due. I've lost so much, a big win has to be coming. The machine owes me. If I quit now, the next player will hit what should have been my jackpot. So you keep playing. You chase your losses. You go to the ATM. You spend money you didn't plan to spend. And you lose even more. This is the gambler's fallacy in its purest and most destructive form. The truth is brutal but simple. You are never due for a win. The machine doesn't owe you anything. Each spin has identical independent odds. Past results have zero effect on future outcomes. If a bonus feature has a 1 in 1,000 chance of triggering, those odds are the same on every single spin. It doesn't matter if you just played 999 losing spins. Spin number 1,000 doesn't have better odds. It's still 1 in 1,000. You could easily play another 1,000 spins without hitting the bonus. Or you could hit it on the very next spin. Probability doesn't know or care about your recent history. The idea that things even out is true over millions of spins across the entire lifespan of the machine. Over months and years and millions of plays, the machine will hit its programmed payback percentage. But in your individual session, during your few hundred or few thousand spins, variance dominates. You could hit 3 bonus rounds in 20 spins. You could go 500 spins with nothing. Both are possible. Both are random. Neither is more or less due. This myth is psychologically devastating because it exploits loss aversion. Humans hate losing more than they enjoy winning. Once you're down money, your brain desperately wants to recover it. The sunk cost fallacy kicks in. You've already invested so much. Quitting feels like accepting defeat. So you keep playing, convincing yourself that a win must be coming, and every additional losing spin reinforces your belief that the big win is getting closer. It's always just one more spin away. This is how people lose their entire bankrolls in single sessions. This is how recreational gambling becomes problem gambling. This is how people drain their savings, max out credit cards, and ruin their financial lives. I've seen it happen hundreds of times. A player loses $200, then $400, then $600. They're convinced they're due for a big hit. They go to the ATM, They withdraw another 300. They lose that too. They go home having lost $900 in a session where they plan to risk 200. The cost of this myth is devastating. It's not just the extra money you lose by playing through losing streaks. It's the financial ruin that can result from chasing losses. It's the relationship damage. It's the spiral into addiction. The truth is simple and harsh. A losing streak is a reason to quit, not a reason to continue. If you've lost your planned amount, stop immediately. Walk away. Come back another day with a fresh bankroll and fresh perspective. The machine doesn't owe you. You're not due. The next spin has the same odds as the first spin. Probability has no memory. Neither should you. So now you know the 9 myths that are costing you money. But here's the thing. Knowing what not to believe is only half the battle. There are also 7 secrets that casinos actively tried to keep quiet. Things that slot technicians and floor managers know but are told never to share with players. And I'm going to expose all of them. These aren't myths. These are real insider tactics that casinos use to maximize their profits. Things like how they strategically place machines, how they program near misses to keep you playing, and the truth about losses disguised as wins that manipulate your brain into thinking you're winning when you're actually losing. I've made a complete video breaking down all 7 secrets. If you want to protect your bankroll and understand exactly how casinos are designed to take your money, you need to watch it. The link is in the description below, or click the video on your screen right now. Don't make another casino trip without knowing these 7 secrets. And if gambling has become a problem for you or someone you know, please reach out to the National Council on Problem Gambling at 1-800-522-4700. Help is available. The 9 myths are exposed. Now go learn the 7 secrets they tried to hide. Your bankroll will thank you.